Carl Icahn, the noted activist investor, according to numerous sources who are usually quite familiar with his moves, tell me he has been building a stake in Caesars. And you can see from the volume in the stock and the way it's moved up lately that that very well may be the case. Now, it's unclear how large that stake is. Mr. Icahn has not returned my calls to offer me comment on this. But it is worth noting in part because, of course, you may recall a number of months ago reporting that we had, and others had as well, on the interest of Tillman Fertitta and an offer that he had made at the time to Caesars. It was a somewhat audacious potential bid he was proposing. About $13 a share at the time was his opening offer, and then would have been followed with a Dutch tender for roughly 30%, call it $2 to $3 billion. In some ways, or in many ways, using Caesars' own balance sheet to help and merging in his entities with them. Mr. Fertitta is still interested, according to people who know how he's thinking about things. He hasn't gone away. The question is whether Caesars has any interest in potentially engaging with him. So why is it of importance that why is it important that Icahn is building a stake and may perhaps actually come public in some fashion? Well, if he were to choose to do that, he potentially would be in a position to influence or try to influence some sort of a negotiation, perhaps even with Mr. Fertitta. Remember, Mark Forsoro left the company. This is still kind of in many ways a company controlled to a certain extent by Apollo. H.G. Vora also owns a significant stake. Many of those who owned the bonds in the bankruptcy and now are the equity holders. We'll see how it goes, but certainly did want to point out again, that Mr. Icahn building a stake, unclear how large it is or where it will end. He is not unfamiliar with gaming, and in fact even has various approvals for gaming licenses in certain jurisdictions. So did want to bring that to people, Sarah, this morning.
And you're getting a big pop off that news with the stock, both I think in the continued interest from Fertitta and the fact that Carl Icahn is in there.
Yeah, it's up about 7%. But again, it's been up sharply over the last few trading sessions after having come down quite a bit when there was a lot of speculation as to whether they would engage with Mr. Fertitta about his potential deal or offer, I should say, to try to acquire the company.